Hello. We have Appendix 7 in the comments for the Department of Labor, the U.S. Department of Labor, the August 28, 2002, the Assistant Secretary of Employment Training of the Washington, D.C. 2210, Mr. Sigard R. Nelson, Director of Education Workforce Income Security Issues under the United States of the General Accounting Office of Washington, D.C. 2548. Dr. Nilsson, thank you for your letter to the Secretary Elaine L. Chow providing the draft of the GAU report for the high school training grads for the HB1 visa letter. Visa meets the specific workforce needs, but the varying skills levels of the GA 02 88 one, very much appreciate the opportunity to commit with the draft report. We various with all values professional on your staff conducting the HB1 technical skills training grant demonstration review the constructive suggestion connected to the drafting report. We are pleased that the GAU reviews the founding H1 skill grants demonstrating help improvement partnerships and local workforce investment boards businesses education training organization. Major goal of the Department of Labor is to respond to the firm and clearly the business skill needs. This includes and sustain partnerships between the business and the community of the public workforce investment system created by the Workforce Investment Act of 1998 (MWIA). By doing this, the work is ultimately beneficiary because they will be receiving new targeted training assistance that will lead better to higher job and wages. Ask the GAU the recommendation of the Secretary of Labor to take a proactive approach to the addressing high skilled workforce as needed across the country. The department supports the recommendation, continues the identity of the public workforce so that can provide leadership solutions of critical economic need. The government accounting office acknowledges we have industrial initiatives underway in the area of the information technology, health, and care. We plan to expand our high growth of job partnerships to several other industries. A component of the HB1 skills grid demonstrates the true address of the high skilled workforce needs of the incorporated in our efforts. I will also take the opportunities to address the Government Accounting Office recommendation for the draft of the report. Several sanctions that participation outcomes should be standardized that protect the outcomes to obtain the direction with the goals, objectives that meet them been meet. It is not absence of the report. The Department of Employment and Training Administration recently developed a standard format current content for the quarterly report required for the grantees before briefed and all current grantees the new quarterly report for the requirements of the HB1 grantee conference held in July 31st through August 1st, 2002. A copy of the report instructions enclosed implements are specified in content within the narrative section of the quarterly report. This new report effective for the quarter ending in September 30th, 2002. The Employment Training Administration is developing a system that grantees of the option completing with the quarterly reports electronically. This gives the Employment Training Administration a more efficient way to review the grantee information. In addition, the Employment Training Administration has completed an automated system to report the financial data and has trained grantees using them during the recent HB1 grantee conferences. We expect for the online in December of 2002, the ETA has a plan to award the contract to evaluate the impact of the HB1 grant programs at the end of September 2002. The Government Accounting Office recommendation department shall establish mechanisms to share successful strategies, grantees, and encourage networking. We all agree to the important objective of the Government Accounting Office and identifies the Employment Training Administration activities supported by the objectives. Moreover, the plan of the ETA is also contained that has provided the general granting copies of the process of the studies of containing considerable information grantees best practices. We will provide additional technical assistance for the HB1 demonstrates the project includes the sharing information experiences leading to improved program performances. The GAU resides in significantly concern of the HB1 grants programs guidelines and we're confusing the skills of the training the grants that would be provided in all notes of the Immigration Naturalization Services. Reviewing the first 43 HB1 grant projects characterized as 40% of the occupation for the training were being provided by the qualifying HB1 visas at levels. The Government Accounting Office notes that the report of the current legislation authorization HB1 grant program, the ACWIA 2000, specifically directs HB1 grants to be used only for HB1 visa level training, but not for the preparation of work broad range for the portions along the career ladder. They acknowledge that some of the training may be not fully between the HB1 visa levels and bachelor compensation. Examples: the statute provision contribution imports importantly to the differences between the interim immigrant nationalization services, the HB1 visa standards, some of the occupational training, but beginning conduct, the HB1 technical skill grants. We recognize that the Government Accounting Office, the HB1 technical skills grants, and demonstrates the project level training of the issue lesson learned. We believe that the measures of the ultimate success demonstrate the efforts of whether the work is being can be mitigated in business of the important high-skilled workers under the HB1 visa program. Therefore, monitoring carefully the various grant applications awarded, whether they meet the objectives for future evaluations efforts will also be objective into the consideration. I've enclosed some of the additional comments of the observation of the draft report. As we again, we appreciate your sharing the draft report of the use of the cooperation of the study of the staff. Please contact Jerry Fila, Administrative Office of the Policy Research at 202-693-3665 for any clarifications and additional information. Emily Stover Duraco enclosures. All right, the enclosures are the response to the comments to the GAU HB1 report. The page of GAU comments, while labor does not require a standard format for the narrative progress report, the response to the ETA developed a standard format. The content of the required quarterly report data elements are specified in the content narrative section of the quarterly report. Grantees were briefed in the new quarterly report format requirements. The grantee conference for the July 31st, August 1st, 2002. The new report will be effective quarterly ending the September 30th, 2002. Page 11. The GAU comment data participation is linked because is limited because the labor did not establish standard reporting requirements for the grantees. The grantees expressing frustration for the lack of a reporting system which they had told in development. Page 15 of the Government Accounting Office comment and additional information participation of the demographic of some of the grantees collecting the outcoming data. Although the data is limited not to standardization in general, say that the data is collected by each of the participation having ended their training in response to some of the responses to the number one above. The ETA is specified in reporting requirements for both the quarterly progress for the final report. The data elements required to provide the grantees sufficient the progress entering project evaluation purposes. The grantees required that the report quarterly income data of the quarter as cumulative outcome. In addition, identifying standard elements to the grantee submitting the ETA sought an alternative easy grant submission of the quarterly reports. The ETA has been quarterly developed in the system to provide grantees option to completing the quarterly reports electronically, sending them reports via email. The system will approve the ETA as a more efficient reviewing quarterly information submitted grantees. The automated system report financial completed with only online in the near future. The grantees were providing training automated financial reports during the HB1 grantee conference. Page 3 recommendations of GAU comment. The Secretary of Labor identifying the standard participation outcome data is needed to establish mechanism of successful strategies among grantees. Responsible see response 1 and 2. We respect sharing strategy. The employment training agencies sponsor 2 granting conferences and plans of sponsoring additional 1 necessary. The employment training the administration currently processes the procuring additional technical assistance supporting HB1 demonstration project. Once that key project is supporting the share information experience of the HB1 technical skills, in addition with the national conference, the regional office of the HB1 grantee conferences to share information among the grantees. Page 4 of the GAU comment. In solicitation of the grant applications, labor has provided guidelines confusing as skill levels of the training of the grantees provided. The response to the solicitation was published in April 13, 2011, stated in page 4 of the ACWIA technical skill training geared towards unemployed workers who can be trained or placed directly in high-skill HB1 occupations. If possible, confusion might be result in the development and attempting to reconcile the statutory provisions of the training of the jobs. Carrier letters of a very clear primary goal, placing American workers HB1 level job. Recognition of legislative language is amended by the 414C2 should include the text of the report explaining the administrative confusion. Page 17 of the GAU comment. Even though the grantees were interested on the outcome tracking the outcomes of the participation has attempted to encounter a number of challenges. The response to the paragraph sentence begins with recognizing the problem. The Department of Labor administrating the grant program, how to collect the measures of the outcome. For the example, some of the results noted the GAU include the participation gaining scale, therefore not laid off reduction where occurred before because of a recent dip in the economy. The page 1 GAU footnote, the Employment Training Administration suggests the full definition of HB1 level skills, including the readers will complete the definition of the beginning of the report. The page 5, the GAU may want to note that in addition to the forms of technical skill grants, the ACWIA, a small portion of the funds going to the Labor Fund HB1 visa applications for the processing of the alien labor certification. The GAU may not match the funding requirements of the ACWIA 2002 for the statutory requirements of the Department of Labor established requirements. The GAU observation of the 2-year time frame of the grants. The ETA awards concerning some grants in partnership with the 2-year not sufficient time to reach the HB1 skill level. Another future solicitation will take it into account using the 3-year frame for the grants. The page 17 of the GAU observation exemplary practices report. The ETA responsible for the distributed to process analysis reports. The exemplary practices reported the second. Both the reports have distributed all grants and reported posted on the HB1 website. Appendix 8 comments of the National Science Foundation.